Good. Welcome to week 6 of the She Grows Grain program. So it's been a while. We've been doing this together, and I'm so glad that we are here now. So my name is Zoinda Mola Oshinubi, and thank you so much for joining Dr. Abiola Oladigbolu. It's a pleasure to have you on the call, and thank you for joining earlier. And with me is Sumaya.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome, sir. And with me is Sumaya Ajani, who will be co-moderating as well. With me, I know you are no stranger to Sumaya, as well as Blessing Gabriel, but in the course you'd see more from them. But before we go ahead, I would just like one or two people to share what they've learned so far, as is our tradition. So it may be from last week's class or from any of the sessions that we've had previously. What stood out for you? If I need people to talk, so I want two people a minute each to share what stood out for them in our sessions so far. So you can just raise your hand and allow you to talk. And then after we take the address from Risky, a representative who is my peer facilitator and a representative of the Youth Empowerment Fund. And then we go right into the introductions and into the tracks. So who's going first? Anyone, any takers, any volunteers? Should I call names? Amina, Benta, Beryl, Deborah, Esther, Gladys, Grace, Janet, Jemima, Rachel, Latifa. So what have you learned so far? Can everyone hear me? Yeah,
Maybe I can go first.
Okay, yes, please, Janet.
Yeah, so in the last session, what stood out for me is the importance of always validating your business idea. I learned that ideas come, they float in our mind, but it's very important that we validate the idea before we actually pick it up and execute it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Janet. That was very, very brilliant. And I'm glad that you learned that. Another person, please. Let's have someone else share with us what stood out for them since. So Kolakbo Rachel says, "Good evening, Ma. From last week's session, I learned that nobody gets it right the first time, so progress beats perfection. And more importantly, good ideas are tested, not as So Beryl says, I learned how to improve my production through soil fertility and seed selections. This is nice. I need someone else to speak so that we can move on from this. Any takers again? Rachel, Beryl, thank you for sharing your takes. So Adeke, let's have you. What have stood out for you so far? Peace, I don't think I've heard you in class. Priscilla, Jemima, So let's move. Like I said, we have an address from Risky Citra Anugra. He would have loved to make it here with us, but unfortunately he can't due to the time zone. He's in Indonesia, and the time this program happens, it's midnight over there, and he can't make it. However, he recorded a video which I would love to play, and so all of you can hear. Sending his wishes to participants of Shiglo's Green, and giving you more credence and credibility about the program, which I'm going to be playing now. It's just a 2-minute video, please. So listen attentively. And by the way, Rizky is an Indonesian. He is a peer mentor, which means in the youth, you know that this program is funded by the Youth Empowerment Fund, which is an initiative of the European Union and the Global Youth Mobilization. So Risky is one of the young people working on that program, helping awardees like She Grows Green to successfully execute their projects. So he directly supervises me, and in that capacity, he represents the Youth Empowerment Fund. And he sends his regards. He would have loved to be here with us live in person so you can hear him, but like I said, it's in Indonesia and the time zone is not that favorable. But let me just play this video he recorded and sent over. Please, can you hear the video? Let me know if you can hear the
No, no, no.
Oh, okay, please just a moment.
Hello
What about
to
now?
all
Can
the
you?
participants of the first cohort of She Grows Green. My name is
Yes,
Risky,
yes,
and I
yes,
am
yes.
a peer facilitator for Global Youth.
Okay, please.
Hello to all the participants of the first cohort of She Grows Green. Hello to all the participants of the first cohort of She Grows Green. My name is Risky, and I am a peer facilitator for Global Youth Mobilization and the European Union's Youth Empowerment Fund. I was invited to support young leaders from around the world because of my work as the founder of Youth for the Homeless, a one-of-a-kind organization dedicated to supporting people experiencing homelessness in Indonesia while advancing Sustainable Development Goal 1. Today, I would like to warmly welcome all of you girls and women to the very first cohort of She Grows Green. She Grows Green was selected as one of the recipients of funding from the European Union's Youth Empowerment Fund, a €10 million initiative that supports youth-led projects creating sustainable change in communities around the world. Global Youth Mobilization recognizes that climate change disproportionately affects women, which is why your leadership, your ideas, and your solutions are so important. With the training, resources, and support that you will receive throughout this program, She Grows Green is an incredible opportunity to turn your passion into meaningful action for your communities. I encourage each of you to make the most of this experience, learn from one another, and fully embrace every opportunity that comes your way. Now, more than ever, girls and women have an essential role to play in building a more sustainable future. Before I wrap up, I would also like to give a special shout out to Oyinda Mola and the entire She Grows Green team. I've been following your progress through your publications and surveys, and it's been inspiring to see everything you've accomplished in bringing this program to life. To everyone involved, congratulations on launching the very first cohort of She Grows Green. I wish you all the very best, and I hope this journey is inspiring, impactful, and a lot of fun. Thank you.
So that's it from Risky. I hope everyone got that. I hope everyone heard that. If you heard it, let me know in the chat.
Yes.
Oh, great, great
Yes.
insight.
Yes.
So that's it from Whiskey. And with that, so you've heard what he said. He's advised and encouraged you to, hold the fort and take everything that you are learning very seriously. As you see, we have been bringing you doctors and professionals and practitioners who are of very high quality. And you have access to all of this at no cost. But please, so take advantage of it and ensure that you use it to grow your ideas, grow your business, and be a formidable part of the African force of young women entrepreneurs that are contributing to economic development and driving food systems change. So with that, let's go into introducing our speakers for today. They are right here, and I'm very thankful for that. In fact, Dr. Abiola joined very, very early. Let me just share my screen. So we have our speaker for today. We have Dr. Abiola Oladigbolu. And
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone.
yes, sir, I'll read your profile now,
Sure.
then we would create a team and we go into it. Oh, I'm sorry, just a minute, please. I think my oh, so I want to share my screen so as I read the profile. Yes, so we have Dr. Abiola Oladigbolu, and Dr. Abiola Adeyinka Oladigbolu is a Chief Research Fellow and Head of the Biopesticide Unit at the National Horticultural Research Institute, which is now at Ibadan. He's a crop protection specialist. He holds a bachelor's in agricultural technology, a master's from the University of Ibadan, and a PhD in crop protection. His work focuses on sustainable horticulture, integrated pest management, and biopesticide development. He co-developed eco-friendly pest management products including Nihot Nihot and Twitter Trap Tray. He has served as an FAO trainer and resource person and is a visiting lecturer at the Polytechnic Ibadan. Everyone, please let's give it up for Dr. Abiola Oladigbolu. As soon as we create the breakout rooms, we will have a session and then you can have access to his knowledge and wealth of experience. But in the meantime, please put in the chat and say, welcome, Dr. Abiola. It's an honor to have you here. I can't see anything in the chat. Put in the chat, please, and let him see it as well. So yes, put in the chat. Let's see it. Great. Thank you. Then our facilitator also for today for the waste track is Blessing Onwe. And Blessing is a multi-award winning revamped specialist, climate educator, and expert craft facilitator. She is the founder of Optex, formerly Blessing Evia Signature, a social enterprise focused on upcycling worn-out fashion items and pet bottles, promoting sustainable practices, and reducing landfill waste and unemployment in Nigeria. She was recently invited by the UNDP on an all-expenses paid trip to participate in and exhibit her upcycled products at the Global Plastic Innovation Program in Shenzhen, China. Through her academy, Optex Craft Academy, she has empowered over 6,000 community women COP members, and students across the world with practical hands-on cycling and circular design skills. With 8 years of experience as a revamp specialist, she has transformed over 20 tons of solid waste, including worn-out shoes, bags, PET bottles, and fabric offcuts, into new eco-friendly marketable products. Driven by a passion for practical climate action, Blessing's mission is to make sustainability accessible, profitable, and empowering for communities. Please put it up, give it up for Blessing. Put in the chat and say, welcome, Miss Blessing. It's definitely going to be an honor. I know it's going to be an amazing session with our speakers. That said, it's time for us to go into our breakout rooms, and you know how we do it. So I'll create the groups right now. Once you see the breakout, please go to your breakout room, please. Please go to your breakout room. Once you see the notification on your screen, please go to your breakout room. So you are going to see the notification right now. If you're in climate smart agriculture, please go to climate smart agriculture. If you are in waste upcycling track, please go to waste upcycling track, please. So I've opened the rooms already. So please go to your breakout rooms right now. I'm going to just assign. So I've assigned I've assigned it to the climate smart agriculture track for your class. Go straight to your breakout rooms right now so that we can get this started. If you are unable to join your breakout room, please just put in the chat and say you're unable to join. Dr.
Hello?
Abiola, I assigned you to the climate smart agriculture track. Can you accept the invitation and join, sir? You should see a notification. Can you see it, sir? Climate smart agriculture. Please ensure you join a breakout room. We won't be here for long. I'm leaving now because I have to join. Ensure you join a breakout room. Otherwise, put in the chat where your track is so that I just assign you directly. Okay, so welcome everyone to the race track, to climate smart agriculture track. Your facilitator for this class will be will be Dr. Abiola Oladigbolu. Blessing, can you hear me? Please unmute yourself. Doctor, sir, you have the floor.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. You have the floor, sir. So you can share your screen, record as well, and we can go on with the session now.
Okay, just a minute.
Okay, sir.
It's just a minute. Trying to share the slide.
Okay. Okay.
It's just a minute, please.
It's all good, sir. I would also like if you could you also please confirm if you can record the session from your end, because some of my co-moderators are having network challenges and I might have to be shuffling
I
between
should be able to record.
Yes, if you could do that, we really appreciate. Thank you so much, sir. So we can both have a copy.
Trying to do that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
I'm baking this I go back. Okay.
I'm not this video.
Okay. Resume show.
Find it a little bit difficult to get.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the recording is on now. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello, Deborah. Okay, is my slide showing now?
Yes, your slides are showing, and it also shows that you are recording.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, hello?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, okay, good afternoon, sir.
Okay. So, I welcome everyone to this very beautiful time, and I hope we'll be able to impact knowledge into ourselves.
We can't see you though, or do you? Is that we can't see you though? Or I think
You
your
can see
video is,
me?
we can't see you. Your video is off.
Okay. Is that
Okay,
fine now?
yes, you can see me right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So once again, I say I welcome every one of us to this evening, and I hope we'll be able to make trying to look at the effect of climate change on our agricultural productivity. And the effect I have my title as the Integrated Pest and Disease Management for Climate Smart Vegetable Production, a sustainable approach for higher yield, better quality, and environmental protection. I would like to start. Oh, just nothing. So we will be going with this work with this agenda roadmap. That's the outline. Start from learning the objectives, why pest and disease management matters in agricultural productivity, the meaning of the definition of IPM, major vegetable pests, which are a major challenge to most of our farmers, both the peasants and the commercial farmers. Common vegetable diseases. While we have pests, we are sure that we have to have diseases on our crops. Economic impact of pests and diseases on our crops. How have these been able to have negative effect on our farmers, looking at their livelihood? Prevention through good agronomic practices. Cultural control methods, looking at the biological. Organic and eco-friendly pest management methods. Safe use of pesticide. Then we have the early monitoring system, I mean the detection, which is very, very important for agricultural productivity. Maintaining healthy crops, climate smart pest management, practical case studies, tools every farmer should have, and what do we have as our key takeaway. The objective of this learning or our interaction this evening is just to understand what integrated pest management is, that is bringing about different control measures that we can use to combat the menace of insect pests and diseases on our crops, but taking cognizance of the use of synthetic insecticides or herbicides, or as may be, as a last resort, or making it not even involving it into this system of IPM. Identifying major pests and diseases, as I've earlier said. Talk about prevention outbreak. How do you prevent outbreak on our crops? It's very, very important, and we discuss that this evening. Use of environmentally friendly control methods to combat these insects. That was what I was earlier buttressing, talking about using different control measures, looking at the cultural methods, biological methods, and other methods, but making sure that the use of chemicals, which our farmers seems to look at it as if is the most effective, making it the last resort. Monitoring field effectively, which is very important. Just as you go to your field very early in the morning, you must be sure that you have scoured through your farm and look at it. Are there changes? Have I noticed more population of insect pests on my field as what was obtainable a day before? So these are very, very important things that we need to take into cognizance as farmers. Why pest and disease management matters? It's very important for you to have bumper harvest as a farmer, for you to have healthy fruit, for you to have marketable fruit that are acceptable by consumers. You have to be very, very sure that you have put in place check and balances that will distract or that will control some of these insect pests on your field. They are majorly if you ask farmers will tell you, aside from insect pests, then the weed management comes in as one of the major challenge for any productivity. And that's what takes about 70% of the production cost for farmers, which makes most of these are peasant farmers, talking about farmers in the northern part of the country, talking about farmers in the southern part of the country. They've become so impoverished because of the enormous amount of money they have deployed into the cultivation of their crops and having very little yield. I will have to bring a case studies of some of this involvement I have participated in time past that has to do with working directly with farmers. In 2015, 2016, 17, we had outbreak of an insect pest known as Tuta absoluta. It was a major pest of tomato. It came into the country unaware, and it found its way spreading across many farms that are cultivated by tomato, resulting into huge losses of millions of dollars, as the case may be. It's an insect that we look at it as if they are invasive. Invasive in the sense that they come in from another country and they found themselves in our country and trying to destabilize our agricultural system. Tuta absoluta was a major pest in the northern part. In that regard, FAO, Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, call upon my institute, which is National Horticultural Research Institute, that has the mandate for tomato production in Nigeria, to look into how we could curb the menace of the spread of this insect because of the enormous damage it has caused to farmers. In that year, if we may recall, some of us from Nigeria, we had tomato that became so expensive. Tomato that was sold for like 10,000 became 100, became 200,000 per basket. And even when you purchase them, you find that there are a lot of chemical residues within those crops because of the type of chemicals that have been used by farmers to see how they could reduce the spread of this insect as much as possible. But despite the spread, the continuous use of insecticide, they had no results, and it became a very knotty issue. The FAO now said, let's look into it. And myself and scientists in my institute were able to deploy to the field. We worked with farmers in Katsina State, Kaduna, Jigawa, Plateau, and Kano, which are the major hubs of tomato production in Nigeria. And we were able to come up with a very effective biopesticide that was able to manage this insect pest. As we keep going, I'll show us some of the product that was manufactured by the institute and has been used as a very good control for Tuta absoluta, both at the adult stage and the larval stages, which are the most destructive on the field. I said that integrated pest management is the only key option for you to be able to have bumper harvest and have quality fruit, and to also have a greener environment and a safer environment for all. Talking about looking at how to cultivate in a very smart way to be able to reduce all this effect of most of these harmful practices we use, resulting into the disturbance of our ecosystem. The first we're seeing here is use of biological control. Biological control in part of the country here is not it's not something that people have really embraced, but it's another major way of controlling insect pests on our field, trying to reduce the continuous use of insecticide, because we are more concerned about insecticide here. Insecticide in the sense that we know that if some of these molecules are being sprayed on our crops, they find themselves in the environment, and finding in the environment makes the ecosystem unbalanced. It has effect on some of our microorganisms that are supposed to be there in the environment to also bring the checks and balances to some other insects. Same goes for the human being, because in interviews that I had with farmers during that outbreak of Tuta absoluta, we noticed that most of the farmers developed some of these strange illnesses because of the continuous use and harmful use of insecticide. We got an information that some farmers even had to use kerosene and petrol to spray their fields just to be able to make sure that this insect goes off. But it's just a matter of understanding the biology of that insect, and you can be able to develop some control measures for it, which the farmers have not done. But we tried as much as possible to bring some of this information to them. That's use of lady beetle. In the use of lady beetle, they are a very safe biological control that we can use. But in our own sector here, in our own side here, it's more effective in the screen houses. It's more effective in the screen because it's an enclosed environment. But farmers now have already developed how they could also see that these things got multiplied within their open field too, to be able to have a check on some other insects. Lady beetle is very good when you talk about controlling aphids. Controlling aphids on our pepper or tomato, you have lady beetles in large populations. They help in bringing down the population of all these insects that are more dangerous to our crops. Talking about mechanical control, we have to go to the field. Early in the morning, we can as well pick some of these damaged crops, damaged parts of our plants, and discard properly. We have chemical control too. The use of chemical is not totally being discarded. We can't say we won't use synthetic chemicals. But you will notice that our farmers don't really adhere to the recommendation talking about the dilution ratio, the dosage that is supposed to be used, because they want this thing to work so effectively in a very short time. They tend to use more of this insecticide, thereby affecting the environment and also affecting the human. But we, as much as possible, we try to recommend that people use some of these chemicals at the recommended dose, if possible. If you want to use it, it has to be at the recommended doses. Talking about cultural practice, how clean is your field? How clean is your neighbor's field? Even if you have your own field very clean, your neighbor's field, if it's not clean, it becomes a problem. So some of these things are what we need to tell ourselves as a group of farmers. How do we do this to be able to manage such? Here are some of the insects that are of importance. Talking about vegetable production, we have the aphids, we have the whiteflies, we have the thrips. Thrips in recent time have become a menace in our agricultural system. Pepper thrips is one of the major problems most pepper farmers are battling with now. And these are the kind of things that we can use biological control to check. The fruit borers, the leaf miners, that's the tutor absoluta I was talking about. It's also a very big issue at hand. Fall army worm is also there. It's a big problem for the cereal crops. These are some of the fields in Nihot that these are some of the pictures we observed while we were trying to see how we could develop some kind of control measures for some of the insects or some of the diseases that are being found on the field. The first, plate 1 that you're looking at is just leaf curl. And in most cases, leaf curl is just like a more or less like a viral infection because and they are being transmitted majorly by whiteflies and aphids. Whitefly and aphids. And this is just how the plate 1 is how the symptoms you observe. And for everyone that is a farmer needs to have a catalog or a kind of a book that shows some of these things in real picture type, so that by the time you see it, you know what it is on time, and you can as well control it before it becomes something that is goes beyond control. The second one is blight. The third one also there is a mixture of two different ones: an insect attack with a wilt problem. The plate 4 shows bacterial wilt. Bacterial wilt in the sense that what you notice in bacterial wilt is that you might go to your field today, your tomato is looking very healthy. The second day you got there, it looks as if hot water was poured on your tomato plant. So those are just how it looks like by the time you find them on the field. The common vegetable diseases, as I've earlier said, and the crops we are trying to be of, the crops we want to focus on majorly is tomato, pepper, the cucumber, the amaranth, and the likes. So some of them have similar infestation that happens to them. Looking at the fungi, they have fungi infections, they have bacteria. Bacterial wilt is a major problem for us in the Southwest because we have more of the rainy season period, which is something that supports the growth of some of these pathogens. And in the northern part, what we have there is tuta absoluta because we have higher temperature. At higher temperature, we tend to have more of this reproduction of tuta absoluta, which is a major problem for tomato. Likewise, with the viral infection, also predominant in some tomato and cucumber too. Ayla said that the economic impact of pests and diseases, it tells on the farmer, it tells on the economy of the nation, because by the time our farmers are not able to produce to capacity, the peasant farmers in Nigeria are the bulk of the major hub that produces most of the things we eat, because you find them in smaller clusters, but they produce a lot of those things, take them to the market. So by the time they have been attacked or they have been affected by some of these diseases, it becomes a problem for them. Their yield drastically reduced. At the same time, their pocket suffers for it. The nation itself will not be food security sufficient. And at the same time, we notice that when we do that, we will tend to import more food into the nation, losing our exchange rate. So it's of more importance that some of these things are looked into by some of those people in the value chain that are supposed to help farmers. Now, for instance, now the extension agent system in Nigeria is weak, unlike what we have before. Some of these farmers suffer because they don't have some of these information. Talking about even how to keep your environment safe in terms of the use of non-use of some of these pesticides, they don't have those informations. So the extension agents also have a role to play in this regard. Okay. Yes, so I earlier said that prevention of this infestation through good agronomic practices. How often do you clean your environment? You can see this particular picture here. The field looks very good. The field looks very good because the farmers have decided to clean the environment. They are of like mind. Because if I clean my own field and you've not cleaned my neighbor have not cleaned his or our own field, it's an effort in fertility. So we have to make sure that every farmer have like mind. If, for instance, now some group of extension agents brings in some kind of technology to us to adopt, and we look at it that it's fine. If I adopt it and my neighbor doesn't adopt it, it's not going to be effective. I give an instance of the time we deployed. There's a particular device we call tuta trap tray. Tuta trap tray. It was developed by NIHOD, and we gave it to some farmers. It's just a small device that has the ability to trap the adults of tuta absoluta. The farmers tend to steal from their neighbors' own and take it home because that device has a small light on it that can illuminate an environment. But they tend to take it home and use it to illuminate their homes. So it's a problem. So by the time we don't have people of like mind growing things together in our environment, it becomes a problem for us. Okay, sorry. Yes, these are the cultural practices that I was talking earlier that we have to remove disease plants. The moment you go to your field and notice this particular plant is quite different from how others are looking at, we have to take it off. These are the things we need to do. As much as possible, we'll do them. It reduces the level at which we have to use or introduce insecticide into our field. Weed management is very important. Pruning of the crop. When you have maybe the orange orchard, how often do you prune it? You just leave it to grow a lot of vegetation which can harbor insects that you have to warrant you using chemicals to spray the field. So those are the things you need to do. After pruning, do you take them out of the field? The crop residue destruction, the residue you pick on your after harvesting, how do you discard it? Do you just leave it there till the next day it keeps multiplying? So those are the things we have to also look into that and make sure that those things are put in place to make sure our environment is safe. Biological control, I talked about the natural enemies. That's the lady beetle, the lacewing. Lacewing is very, very important. It's like a predator, especially for aphids, which is a major pest of tomato and okra. When you have those lacewings multiplied in your field, it helps as much as possible to reduce the population of insect pests. Development of so this one is just the role of NIHOT in the management of insect pests and diseases of vegetables. As I said that NIHOT, as an institute that has the mandate for vegetables or horticultural crops, if you think, we've been able, these are just the products that we have, and they are currently patented. It has been tested and found effective in the management of some of these worm insects. Like the one, this Leptol and Nihotractin was developed to target the larva stage of Tuta absoluta and fall armyworm. It's just a smart way because we looked at the biology of Tuta absoluta, which was a major problem at that time. We noticed that it was a night-loving insect, a natural insect. Okay, it flies and is a moth, like a butterfly. How do we reduce the population of those butterflies? Because it's a night-loving insect. It does its damage in the night, it lays its egg in the night. So this Tuta trap, NIHOT Tuta trap tray, is just a device that you keep on your field. In the night, it's being solar powered. In the night, it illuminates the whole environment. So wherever you have that tray, is being illuminated. Whatever insect that is a night-loving insect will come flapping around that material and get drowned into that water. You can see how simple it is. You don't require any technical knowledge about it. Just place on your field. For 1 acre of land, about 4,000 meters square, you only need 8 of this to work there. So by the time you are able to reduce the population of the adult laying insect, that's the female moth, as much as possible, you won't have even the larvae. So for any larvae that even eventually emerge into larvae, the NIHOT Leptol and Nihotractin manage it effectively. And if I may also say, the NIHOT Leptol is a product from eucalyptus tree. Then the Nihotractin is a product from Azadirachtin, that's the neem tree. And that's what you can see here. The first one here is neem tree. The second one is also, we can also use garlic as making a biopesticide. We can use pepper extract. We can also use sticky traps. You place your sticky traps at certain distances within the field, and you can find the insects getting glued to it. It's just a way of managing those insects by not using chemicals. Likewise, pheromone traps too. Okay. Sorry. Safe use of pesticide. Even if you have to use the pesticide, there are rules that govern it. How often do we read? Even our farmers are so good at that. They don't read the labels because sometimes they go to the agro stores, just pick it up, and what the agro stores will tell them is that just take two things of this particular one, put in your knapsack sprayer and spray your field, and that is all. They just go, and farmers, as you know how they are, the moment they go and they try it and it doesn't work, the second application will be 2 times 2 or times 3 of it. So it's very good that our extension agent has a lot of role to also play in enforcing or seeing that farmers adhere to whatever they read on their labels before using. He said we have to read the labels. They have to wear the personal protective wear. Most of our farmers don't even wear it. So it's something that needs an holistic approach. The Research Institute has a role to play. The extension agent has a role to play. And others in even the government sector have a role to play to make sure that we have a safe environment and be more smart in the way we cultivate our agricultural produce. Correct dosage, as I've earlier said, then safe disposal of empty use cans. How do we dispose them? Some of us, even after using after using the chemicals they need, they still bring them back home and their children use it to play. You can see how terrible it is. If the farmers to bring the empty container home and they the children use them to play, some will even put some water into it and even possible drinks. So it's something that we need to be able to work as those in the value chain to be able to help. It's an holistic approach for us to have a safe environment. It's it's an holistic approach. It's not something that one person can do, and that's why we have to join hands together. And I'm so happy that something like this is coming up, this webinar, and it's going to be an eye-opener for most people and to also go back and tell our farmers these are what we need to do to be able to achieve a safe environment. Never, never will you mix chemicals together. It's very, very harmful. But these are the practice that our farmers do, but it's very, very harmful. Spraying without protective cover is very, very harmful for those, for even the farmers that are practicing this. The rest, they use, some people also use the containers. Some earlier said that they use it for other things. It's not a very good practice, and we have to also curtail that. Monitoring and early detection. For any insect to come and cause damage on your field, they wouldn't come in large numbers. You find few of them coming, to be one or two, because each insect are attracted to certain plants. Not every plant does an insect feed on. The insect that feeds on tomato now might not want to feed on okra, and not want to feed on cucumber. So they have different plants that they feed on, and that is why the moment you plant certain crop, you already know the kind of insect that might come. Then you have to be scouting around to check. You come to the field, check the back. Most of these insects are so smart. They also lay their eggs at the back of the leaf, not on the top. So you may hardly find that they are there. And by the time one or two are there, they mate and they reproduce. They start laying eggs, then it becomes a big problem for us to handle. But it's better we are more preventive than curative. That is what I want us to know. It's better to be more preventive than being curative in this place. So some of the things you can also use to detect early that an insect is here, just like that tutor trap tray I said earlier, it could be placed on your field. As even right from when you have your nurseries on the field, you place some of those things there, or you put a sticky trap tray. That will tell you immediately when there is one or two of these insects. When you come in the morning, you find them drown in the water, in the tray, or you find them stick to the sticky trap. So it tells you that you have to take action, not that just go in there to pour chemical when you don't have anything on the field. So it's a practice that is common among our farmers, but the right thing to be done is just to have a monitoring system that does that. While I was in Beijing some few years ago, they have monitoring system that is so holistic. It cuts across the whole of China. And what they do is that they have a particular unit that tells you that in the next 2 years, you'll be having infestation of this certain type of insect. It's because we went on a study how they do it. Is this early warning system? How does it operate? But it's a high-tech system that we still find it difficult to operate in Nigeria because it's being powered by electricity. So it's something that we need to also, if you have that, a nation itself can also have it, that it will tell you certain types of, even the direction at which the insects are coming from, it tells you. And you can as well go and avert them even before they come into your country. So it's something that we need to also embrace. And some other nations of the world are also doing that, which helps their cultivation very well. To have healthy crops, our fertilizers also can also be of help and can also be of damage for the environment. Some of us are very, very careless in the way we handle chemicals, handle our fertilizers. The use of fertilizers might be told that you should apply that fertilizer in split dosage. It means if you have to apply 5 grams per plant, they might tell you to be in split dosage, then it has to be 2.5 first. After a certain period of time, you apply the second one again. Some of us will just apply the whole thing at once, and it becomes a mess. The plant will not even make use of it, and it becomes a terrible thing for the environment. Then the irrigation system too, how do we operate? From where do we get the water we are applying to our crops? Is it from a very dirty waterway, or is it a borehole system? So some of those things need to also be taken into cognizance. How do we do them? Mulching is also a very good system. It helps to prevent weed competition with our plants. Climate smart pest management. These are just the steps. We have the climate change, which is known and it is already in existence. It's something we have to cope with, because if you want to know that the climate has changed in the southern part of Nigeria, then we notice that our rain comes early. By March, April, we have rains, and the rains will be there, gradual rains, and it keeps. You have it till August. August, we are sure that we have our August break. And by September, like that, it comes back again. We have it till November sometimes. But in recent times, we notice this system has changed completely. We might not even have close to 5 months of rains again in Southwest. And even if we want to have it now, we have very heavy rains that will damage our crops. It means something is wrong. And it has to come as a result of the kind of practices we use in our cultivation, in our industries, and the rest, which requires government intervention at ours and our own part too, as an agri expert or agri consultant like that. Resilience farming, integrated pest management, higher yields. If you get it right in your integrated pest management, you are definitely bound to have higher yield and quality yield. And you also have an healthy environment. A practical case study. For whitefly now, which we have domesticated, we have tried and it has been very effective. What we used was yellow sticky trap at 2 weeks after transplanting your tomato to the field. We introduced the yellow sticky trap at 2 meters by 2 meters, 2 meters away from each other. And we now start spraying with neem spray. That is the 9-hot ractin. This is a practical experience what we have done, and it gave us good results. Then we also plant resistant varieties. It may also interest you that the National Horticultural Research Institute in recent times was able to, we developed some pepper varieties, tomato varieties, and okra varieties and onion that have been proven to be resistant to some of these diseases and also have a way of managing adverse environmental stress. Pepper variety recently was released by the releasing agencies in Nigeria, and NIHOT released about 2 or 3 different varieties, which is what we are trying to see how we could push our farmers to be able to increase their productivity. For pepper, thrips is a major problem of pepper. And what we need to do is that the weeds around are the major hosts for thrips. The moment you have a lot of weeds around, and thrips is it's so funny. It has a lot of hosts in talking about weeds. About 8 or different weeds have been reported to be a host for weeds for this particular thrips, and also now attacks our pepper. So you must make sure that your fields are so clean that you will not allow them to harbor themselves in it now coming into your field. So if you remove remove the weed and your fields are clean, you introduce some of this biological control, talking about some lady beetle and the rest, and you have regular check on your field, then you are bound to have good harvest for pepper on the open field. Some of the tools that we recommend that farmers to also use to have a safer environment and to produce healthy food is that you must have in a hand lens. Some of these insects are so minute that you might hardly find them in the naked eyes. So there's no crime in the farmer having a hand lens. Go to the field, just count around 5 or 6 plants on your farm, check at the back of the leaf and see what is there. This lens will give you the true picture of what you have on the field. It tells you, okay, you have to start something. Then the yellow sticky trap is something that we need to even put as our normal routine cultivation. Just like the normal agronomic practices, it's good for us to have this yellow sticky trap. They are sold in commercial quantities in the stores, the agro stores. There's no crime for us to have 2 or 3 on our field, which tells us when and when to start. The knapsack sprayer should also be calibrated properly and be used in the right manner with all these itemized protective wear. The helmet, the eye goggles, the nose mask, the hand gloves should also be used. The soil kit too is something that is handy. Now you can go to your field to even check the quality of the soil you have. These are some of the things you can do in situ on the field to get out your results. Then you can see a smartphone there. There are a lot of applications now that you can just go to the field. The apps can tell you if your plant is even deficient in some nutrients. The apps can tell you the type of insect that you have on the field. Then you should have a notebook that you can take information that you have gotten from the field. It should be recorded. Some of the key takeaways that we have in this few minutes of discussion is that prevention is first. I told you that I said you have to prevent. It's more preventive than curative. You must have to prevent this insect or this diseases from coming that might warrant you to go to the extra mile of having been polluting the environment with different agrochemicals. Scout every week when you cultivate. It's very, very important. Protect beneficial insects. Nowadays, you find people using broad spectrum insecticide. It's not really advisable. When you get to the agro stores, when you ask them, there are some specific chemicals that are not harmful against some beneficial insects. Why won't you use that to control your insect in the field than trying to kill all the beneficial insects on your farm? Keep records. Very, very important. Keep record. If I have recorded outbreak of pests this year, maybe it comes around August, and the second year it comes around August. The third year around August, then it means by every time in August of every year, this particular type of insect comes to feed on this particular type of crops. Then it gives you an indication of what to do to be able to control them. And you must have healthy soil. A healthy soil will translate into healthy plants. Thank you very much for listening, and good evening.
Thank you so much, sir. It's really been an insightful session. Even for me, I've been listening very keenly, and I agree that healthy crops, healthy farmers, healthy environment. I mean, like I say, I don't think we'll ever reach a time that food will not be important, even with all the AI and technological innovations and disruptions. So this is the time to give your comments, questions, ask your questions and pass your comments. So if you have something to say, raise your hand. Let's hear you speak. Raise your hand and ask your question right now. Or if you have a comment or maybe on what he has mentioned, maybe you have an experience that is relatable to what he has mentioned or similar. You can also ask for further insights on that. So who's going first?
Good evening, everyone.
Yes.
Good evening.
Okay, my name is Ruth, and I actually I'm the founder of the Healer Botanicals, so I have great interest in botanical stuff. So, sir, I listened to you. I really gained a lot. I appreciate the fact that you talked a lot about the part where you were talking about how to take care of plants. Those parts
Okay.
really interested me. So there is this thing I've been thinking about. Like, I know that a healthy soil equates a healthy plant. How rich your soil is what is in turn the soil gives you a healthy plant. But
Yes.
I've really been concerned about how our plants for our farmers out there. Our farmers want a high yield. So
Hello. Hello.
I guess our network, because she just went off. Maybe she would come back. Jemima, you are saying something? Or where else has a question, has a
some of
comment?
them are really tempted to use this to them. And we know that they promise high yield. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I'm with you.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So my concern is for those farmers inside. Many of them, these people, a lot of people take these pesticides to them that are filled with harmful chemicals, and they promise them high yield. But at the end of the day, we know that these things they still turn around to haunt us. So what is NIHEalth doing about something like this?
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can I respond, Ma? Can I respond?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. I earlier said that you see some of this when you talk about the agricultural value chain, we have a lot of stakeholders in that value chain. As a group of people here, we have our role to also play. The vital one I'm talking about is the extension agent. The extension system in Nigeria is not like what we have before. Before, the extension agents are those that they are linkage between the research centers and the farmers. They are linkage between the university and the farmers. But it's not there again. Because you find that because the people and the rate at which people bring in all these very very I don't want to use that word naughty chemicals that they just went somewhere, blend it together and feel these farmers they are in need. Let's take it to them. Let me give an instance. When they had the outbreak of tuta absoluta, within a week or two, some group of companies came up with chemicals and said, no, this thing is very effective against tuta absoluta. How on earth will somebody within a week or two manufacture a product that will cure an outbreak that is new in the country? And because people were desperate, farmers were desperate, they don't want to see their labor in vain. When you have a farmer that has close to about 30, 40 hectares of tomato land and it's been lost. So even when you bring anything, even if you bring something that is not reasonable, he takes it and use it. But that is the role of we, the extension agent. The government itself needs to moderate some of these things. Those chemicals coming to the country, who certify them for use? You find a lot of banned chemicals on the shelves in the agro stores. What is the work of NAFDAC? What is the work of all those people that certify some of these products? Have they been going to the shelves of these agro stores to check, are these products, are this one not banned? How do you get it to the country? Now, in few years ago, there are some change in terms of the strength of some of these herbicides, the paraphos and all this stuff. They had to there was an embargo or like a restriction on the use of it, that it has effect on our soils, and they had to tell the manufacturers that certain elements in the production have to be removed to make it safe for the environment to be used, to make it safe for our lands. But I can tell you that some of these products still find their way from neighboring land borders. They come into the country and it's still being used by farmers because they said it's more effective. But after some while, they notice that their land is no more productive. So it's an holistic approach. The government has its role to play. NIOT has its role to play. My sister viewing me here has a role to play too. So everybody has a role to play in managing this thing. NIOT itself, we are trying to strengthen our own extension linkage with our farmers, because we have very good extension agents, and we make sure that any technology we have, we push it to the farmers and we monitor. But for the agro industries, who monitors them? So I think it calls for deliberation. It calls for a summit. It calls for people to deliberate on it. Those in the sectors, how do we work together to see how these things are being taken away from our environment, to make our environment a safe place for everyone?
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. As we were just talking now, my mind just went to because I actually have this TV show where we talk about healthy living and all that. So I remember that in one of the episodes we educated people on compost, how that you can make your own compost in your house and use it to fertilize. For those who have small gardens at home. So because we're talking about gardening. So I was thinking that I know that for big farmers, some of those things might not really be realistic, but maybe in a way for small farmers and people who are intending to go into small gardening in their homes, they can also be taught about compost if they don't want to go in the chemical way. They can start learning compost and all those things. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, sir. We have Shatu Stephen. Please, can you go ahead? And after Shatu Stephen, we will take Jemima Bello.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for this wonderful teaching. I enjoyed the class very well. Sir, you talked about resistance.
Hello, Shatu.
Hello.
Hello, Shatu.
Sir, you talked about resistant seed in how to control the pests. Yes, that's where my question is, sir. Sir, in these resistant varieties you talked about, sir, does it not have any effect? Is it something we can use again as a farmer and a new upcoming farmer? So I'm
Okay.
asking this resistant variety that you talked about
Okay.
that helps us control the pests in our farms.
Okay.
Some
Okay.
people say that some of these varieties you can't use them again. That they are seeds that is just for the
Oh,
moment.
okay.
Once it's finished, you will
Oh,
have
okay.
to buy again, or you cannot
Fine
preserve from
again.
it. Now this is my
Okay.
question.
Okay. Thank you very much, Atu. You see, it's a very good question. You see, every of these people in the agro sectors are businessmen and women. For you, whatever makes a product to become hybrid, that you cannot regenerate it, it means that whenever you use it this year, you cannot extract the seed and remultiply. That means it's an hybrid, it's already locked. It means the people, the owners of those products want you to keep coming and coming to get more because it's giving you your yield. But like the product the newly released variety we have done presently now, it's an open pollinated variety. And whenever we talk about open pollinated, means that you can regenerate those seeds. Though it's just being released, we need to also multiply in large quantity because now for now the institute has not been giving it out to farmers. We are still in the process of trying to multiply those seeds to see how we can have enough seed for farmers to now still regenerate their own too. So for an institute like NIHOT, because it's a government-owned institution, and they want to make things so easy for farmers within the country, we have decided we also can decide to go and produce hybrid, but we know it's not going to be very beneficial for our farmers. So, and what we have done is that ours is an open pollinated variety that you can as well regenerate even after you have harvested. So, but for most of the foreign companies, the Jubilee, the Syngenta, I can't list the names. There are so much of them that produces some of these seeds that comes in from Netherlands, India, China, and the rest, and the US. They are into business, and the only way they could remain in the business is that you have to keep going back to source for more seeds from them. So that is just what it is. But for an open pollinated variety, you can as well regenerate it as much as possible. All you just need to be sure is that you keep the seed safe for the next growing season. Have I answered your question, Chatu?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I'm grateful. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, thanks. Jemima, let's have you, and also please, if you still want to ask your questions, raise your hand so we can take them. Jemima, please, let's have you.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. You give us the
Thank
objectives
you.
of the Integrated Pest Disease and Management as to understand the Integrated Pest Management Identification Measure. After that, we say why pest and disease management matters, where we have the climate change, more insect pest, more disease, reduce yield, lower income. And we came to the method of pest control, where we have biological control, sir. So my
Yeah.
question is on this biological control. I need more explanation on it.
Okay. Yes, you see, when we talk about biological control, just as the name has been, is biological, that's natural. So you see, what we are trying to do there is that you see, because if you look at the ecosystem, when you go to maybe let's say a virgin land that has not been cultivated for quite a while, when you go there, you notice that you don't find a particular insect in large population than the others. There's a way at which a check and balances happens in those environments simply because it's a natural vegetation. It has not been disturbed. So some insects you see, for every insect that you find on your field, there's a particular insect that can feed on it. There's a particular insect that can feed on it. And that's why when you go to somewhere like US, you go to Netherlands, there are companies that rears some of these parasitoids that they deploy to the field. They rear parasitoid. When you rear those parasitoids, you move them to the field. They have the ability to feed on other insects. Instead that maybe they feed on their eggs, or they feed on the adults, or feed on the larvae, or whichever one they want to feed on. there's a way they feed on it that they will reduce the population. Simply because, okay, let's say for fall armyworm now, there's a particular parasite that will be so very, very harmful that can feed on fall armyworm of maize. So all you just need to do is that the moment you notice those things are there, you must try as much as possible to conserve them in that environment. But I've said earlier that it is more effective in the greenhouses. When you have greenhouses that is covered, maybe you have infestation in that greenhouse, you just go somewhere in some of these companies that sells those parasitoids, you buy them and put inside that greenhouse and lock. Within a week, you notice that the population of those insects that wants to destroy your crops have been reduced to the barest minimum. So that is just how biological control works. It's just something that was trying to bring down the population of something, and that is it. So it's part of a ways of controlling. It's just a particular arm of, if I may put it, particular arm of IPM. So you can integrate that alongside cultural control, alongside chemical control, just to make sure that you have a safe crop to be produced and a safe environment for human and any other living organisms on it. Am I good?
Yes, sir. Thank you so
Is that
much.
okay? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Anyone else with questions or comments? Anyone else? Even if you don't have a question, if it's something that stood out for you from the session that you really found insightful, you can also share, or you want to show some appreciation, you can also share, not just only questions. So anyone who's going to go for that. I've also shared the link to the post assessment form in the chat, so please ensure you access it. You fill it as we are speaking. I think someone wants to speak. Okay, Christiana, Shiwande, Blessing, Awa, Mary Joanne, Gladys, Latifa, Deborah, Sarah, Beryl.
Okay, if I also contribute something again, can I go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Please, as much as possible for participants here, I don't know if we are a group of farmers or a group of protectionists or extension agents. It's always very good for us to always advise or encourage a group of farmers. Now, if maybe by a group to always get being registered. I'm trying to bring a case study of Nigeria as a case study of Nigeria. It's always very good when you are in a group and you are registered as maybe a cooperative society like that or a cooperative farmers. You see, such things gives it's a very good way for farmers to be able to access incentives either from NGOs or either from government sector. Because for a case study of Nigeria now, you have a lot of can I say incentives that the government are pushing out to be able to help if our farmers. But they will not want to work. The government will not work with individual, except if that individual is a big shot, a big farmer that has hectares of farmland, and he can easily go down to the Ministry of Agriculture and say, no, please, I need some of this, I need some of that. But for upcoming farmers, it's very, very effective that very, very good that they are in clusters. They have common goals. It might be a small, maybe a business name registered by the Corporate Affairs Commission, and they are in group. So in such a way, by the time they have some challenges, they have some issues, they can easily move and speak with the government or whoever is involved to tell them we certain group of people need your help. How do you come to our rescue? So it's very effective. It's very, very good that we always tell our people, let's do that. By the time we speak with one voice, we'll be heard. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Someone says in the chat, Aisha, if you want to speak, you can go ahead. Awa says, my question is, how can you know that nematode attack your vegetables? How can you know that nematode attack your vegetables? So that's what Awa is asking.
Okay, Alan, so I think it's a good question. It's very, very easy. You see, when you have, there are some certain crops that are more prone to nematode infestation. And if you don't have the strength to go do detailed soil analysis, all you just need to do is that go to the field, uproot one or two of those at certain distances, uproot one or two of those crops you planted, and check the roots. There's something we call like it's like a gall, a small ball like that attached to the root system. The moment you notice some of those things, those small balls attached to it, it's just a symptom of nematode. It's just a symptom of nematode. So that means you have to uproot one or two or three, just uproot at certain distance. Maybe it could be amaranthus, or you could have it could be celosia, because like celosia is more prone to nematode infestation. It's more prone to nematode infestation, and that's why in some cases when you have a soil that is even more endemic by nematode, what they tell you to do is just to go and plant celosia in that field, plant it for a particular season and harvest. It helps in mopping up the population of this population load of nematode. So if you plant celosia, just go uproot it with uproot the root and check. If you have something like small nuts, small ball like that attached to the root, it's just an evidence that you have nematode infestation on your field, and it calls for you to start applying whatever can cure it on time.
Thank you so much for that, sir. Awa, I hope that answered your question. And also, any question, any comments, let's know. I've shared the link to the post assessment form in the chat, so please you can check that out.
Please, I just want to confirm when there are holes in the leaves, what does that mean? Is that also evidence of nematodes?
No, not really, not really. You see, there are some certain types of insects. You know, when you have insects of different categories, you have the pod sucking insects. You have some that are leaf miners. The leaf miners are those ones that attack the tomato. That's talking about the Tuta absoluta. They eat up all the green surfaces of the leaf and makes the leaf becomes like like a nylon. And by the time that plant the green surface is off, there's no way for it to trap sunlight to convert into holes. There are certain insects that also punctures the leaves. They only just go there, punch it. Like it's common in okra. When you plant your lady's finger, you plant it on the field, you're bound to have it. And the insect that usually does that, we call it the podagrica. The podagrica, you find them is like they are of two types. Some have blue color, some have red. What they just do is that they use their mouth part to puncture the leaf. They are just trying to feed too, because that's the only way they could feed. So they eat, just puncture that hole, and that's all. So, but in some cases, that hole puncture does not really per se say has significant effect on the yield of for a case study of okra, because there are journals or scientific backing for it. Even when you have more punctures on your okra leaf, it doesn't really translate to having higher yield loss per se. So there are insects that does that, but in most cases it's negligible in terms of looking at it if it's cost economic yield loss.
Ruth, I hope that answers your question, and for every other person.
Yes, it did. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so
I have a question.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. Please, for yam leaves, when you are seeing holes or insect eating, does it mean
Oh, I can't hear you, please. Can you recall?
okay? I said for yam leaves, when there
Mm-hmm.
are holes, is it just about the insect eating it, or there's a disease we have to treat?
Yes, you see, so for some of these things, you see, let me give an instance now. When you have yellowing in leaves of a particular plant, two things might be playing out there. If you have yellowing of leaf, it could be nutrient deficiency, it could be insect attack. So it takes a very diligent person, or it takes some kind of and for instance now, maybe on your field, maybe a field of, let's say, 1 acre of land that is about 4,000 meters square. What you notice is that maybe at a certain part of the field, maybe towards the extreme left of the field, you have all those plants concentrated in that place turning yellow, while others on the field are doing very well. They are completely green. It's likely that if you go to that portion, you might be having more water concentration in that place. Excess water moving to that portion might be responsible. Or you notice that maybe there's a depression in that area that allows all the water in the field get to that place more. So if you're talking about you having a hole on your yam, what's the population of the hole you're looking at? Is it just one or two or three on a plant, or you have actually all your plants, all your yam leaves with holes? If you have all your yam leaves with holes, then it's cause for concern. It means something is wrong somewhere. Then that's where you have to look at scouting. You scout around and check what is in this environment that made these things to happen like this. So those are the kind of things you have to put in place. If you notice that, and that's why there's something we call economic threshold level. Economic threshold level. There are certain time of what you have observed as population of an insect on the field that will warrant you to take action of using anything to control. For instance, now you go to your field, you find only 1 or 3 or 4 insects per plant. Then you come the next day, you can't find them again there. Then it means it's not something of concern. But maybe by the time you have 3 or 4 today, and you are coming in 2 days' time, you had noticed that the 3 or 4 has multiplied to about 50. Then it's something of worry. It's something of worry. Or maybe you come there today, a particular plant, out of that plant, maybe only two leaves out of the yam stem, yam vines are having holes. And you come after 4 days and you notice that more of them have developed that holes. Then you need to take action. So not every time you see holes on the plant that signifies that there are a lot of insects on the field and you have to start spraying. There's something we call economic threshold level. When that level reaches is when you have to take action to control insects.
Thank you so much. Lois, I hope that answered your question.
I think Anu Aqua is raising her hand. I see hand.
Anu, yes, please, you can go ahead. Anolua. Or if you can't speak, maybe you can put in the chat. Is there anyone else who wants to go ahead?
I'm just looking forward to practical, real life. Yeah, we'll do something like practical.
Surely we would have some facility visits, surely. So if there is no one else going, please can you just unmute your mic. Doctor, thanks so much. You can stop sharing your screen now so we can take the group pictures. Can you just unmute and show your appreciation to Doctor and say thank you very much, sir. It's been a wonderful session.
Thank you very much. Thank
And
you.
also
It's really a good question.
I appreciate.
and also
Thank you
put
very
on
much.
Yes,
yes.
I'll watch on YouTube. Thank you.
And also please put on your video so we can take the photo.
Okay.
So everyone, please
Yes,
put on your video so we can take the our group photos like we do. Yes, please put on your videos, everyone. Gladys, Jemima, Anolu, I can't see you. Deborah, Sarah, Ruth, yes, you've been speaking. Let's see your face. Lois, Christiana.
Proper.
So let's take our group photo. I'm sure you are still putting it on. Yes, so that's it. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Ensure that you filled the link to the post.
Thank you very much.
And thank you very much also, Dr. Abiola Oladigbolu, for the insightful session. It was really a very wonderful one. And we really learned a lot. Thank you so much. We are glad to have gained from your wealth of experience and expertise. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having us and having me and my colleague, Dr. Amao Ifeoluwa.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And hope to see you one of these days physically and the other members of the group.
Definitely, sir. Hopefully, as
Okay.
we go towards that. Thank you, sir. I'll send you an email for any next steps. Thank you, sir.
Okay. You're welcome.
So for the rest of us, please ensure you fill the post-assessment form. I've shared it again. Ensure you fill it. Ensure you fill it. I've shared it in the chat again. So ensure you fill it. So it's fine. Why are you laughing? So ensure you fill it. I don't know if our counterparts in the track are done so that we can go back to the so we can return to the major meeting room right now. Oh, so you can return to the main meeting room if you can do that. while we just wait for our counterparts in the waste upcycling track to wrap up with their session. So Bent already posted the link to the assessment form, and I'm doing that again and again. So please ensure you get it this time. Please ensure you filled the post-assessment form. Also, you can leave the meeting right now so as not to keep everyone waiting. So you can leave the room right now. Thank you so much for joining, and take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Ensure that you're in a group, because we'll be giving out tasks to groups, and we'll be sharing more information about that. And ensure that you are filling your learning document, your learning journey document as well. Ensure you are filling it every week. It is very, very important. Ensure you are filling the pre-test, you are filling the post-test, you are filling the learning journey document, and that you are showing up for class. All of these are going to be considered when we are definitely together with the judges, when we are deciding the women who will be walking away with the mini grants to either start their businesses or expand their existing business. So, and if you've not done your impact story challenge too, remember that the assignment was given to us in the first class by Miss Tony Fumilayo Adeniyi. So if you've not done it, ensure you do it. It is very, very important. You are going to be considering it. You are going to be looking at that. Ensure you do it. Get the link and send to your community manager for record keeping. Very soon, we will release the updated attendance tracker so that you can see where you stand, and you can also see that our processes are transparent and see everything that we've been doing. So thank you so much for joining. I wish you all the best, and do take care of yourself, and have an amazing one. Have an amazing one.